Hello and welcome to BFS Wargaming. So we're here for another video. Today we're going to talk about some more new potential characters, and this time we are going to talk about the devious Drukhari. So the Drukhari Codex, in my opinion, is one of the best codexes out there in terms of variety, ways you can play it, and you know, just having a lot of good usable units. I'm not saying that it couldn't be improved. I'm sure, you know, stuff like some of the mercenaries, the beasts, all that sort of thing could be improved and made better, which would be good. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the characters. So, potential characters. So I have looked, or potential named characters, because I am specifically really talking about named characters. I will talk about maybe some other unnamed characters, but we're really only going to touch on the named characters. So I have done some research, read about the Drukhari. There isn't loads of names for the pick-in for this one. So the first one I'm going to talk about, which I'm sure everyone knows about because of the stratagem, is as Drabal Vect. So this guy is like the most devious, cunning, clever man, elf, Aeldari, Aelf, whatever you want to call him. He's very, very devious. He's done some very clever things to get himself to the top of the food chain in the Drukhari. So he is the Archon of the Black Heart, and he should give some really good buffs to different. He should really be buffing all Drukhari, not just the Cabal of the Black Heart. I feel like, because he's sort of the overall leader, so he should be buffing every single, or at least have a buff for every single Drukhari out there, and then maybe give specific buffs, a bit like Abaddon or Guilliman. Give then a specific buff to the Black Heart. So yeah, really good, really clever Archon. Should be really good on the tabletop, and I'm really looking forward to when he does get a model. He's a bit like, he's basically the equivalent of the Drukhari Primarch. Not in so much in fighting, but he should be buffing. He should maybe give extra CP. Just, he is this big character, you know. So then we are going to go on to talk about, we've got the ones that we know about. We've got Lilith Hesperyx from the Cult Strife, and we've got Urian Rakarth from the Prophets of Flesh. So the Cult Strife is the Witch Cult, Prophetess Flesh is the Homunculus Coven. I looked through all the other witch cults, couldn't really find any other named witches as such. No one that I feel like is going to be a potential new character. I also looked through the covens, and the only person I could find is a guy called Medillion, who basically sort of worked himself into the Coven of 12. Interestingly, the Coven of 12 only has 11 homunculus, because they're leaving one spot open just in case Urian Rakarth wants to join them, but he keeps denying them that. But yeah, so basically this Medillion sent 4 of the other homunculus is crazy, so he could get in. So, which is, you know, pretty cool if you're Drukhari, because that's what they're all about, deceit and stabbing each other in the back. So the only other 2 characters I've really got to talk about for the Drukhari, 3 characters, are of the other Cabals. So we have, we'll start off with the Flayed Skull, which is a guy called Vareske Maladrake. Again, probably butchering these names, but he is the Archon of the Flayed Skull. He seemed alright in the lore. Like, I wasn't massively excited about him. He seemed alright. I think he used to be a Reaver on a Reaver jet. Like, well, he used to be a Reaver, and sort of worked his way up, and now is sort of top of the Flayed Skull. So Be cool if he was like on some sort of flying, maybe a Hellion board or something like cool like that. That would be pretty, just to make him a bit different, you know. Then we have Chromis from the Obsidian Rose, Archon Chromis. She is a female. She's pretty cunning and brutal herself. She's done some pretty savage things. Yeah, so she is the Archon of the Obsidian Rose, like I said, and yeah, just a nasty piece of work. My favourite one out of reading all the lore was actually Lady Aurelia Malice. So Malice is the Archon of the Poison Tongue, and she was really cool in the lore. Like, she done some horrific things. Wiped out like basically a whole load of orcs by using spores. She's all about like poison and poison tongue probably, and yeah, just like she seems like the only one that's really got it up there that can actually challenge Vect. I think the Vect is probably superior in that way, but she is, I feel, after reading the lore, the only one that looks like she could challenge him. So I think it'd be really cool, because the thing is, I feel like what GW are doing is they're giving us some smaller characters, you know, named characters, like they have with Space Marines. Obviously, we know we've got Gilliman, but they had a lot of characters anyway. But like, I feel like they're trying to give us stuff like all of the Space Marines are getting like, you know, they've had their Primaris upgrades for some of the characters. The Iron Hands have got a new named character. You know, so we're all sort of trying to get some, which is exciting, but they're trying to, I think, hold these Archons back hold these Primarchs, the big ones, back a bit. Give us some other stuff, and then eventually we will get this big powerhouse unit. So I think Vect might be held back for a while. So I think we could see someone like Lady Malice, or one of the other Archons, or maybe all three, which would be really cool, because there is no named Archons at the moment. So if we saw one of those or all three of those, that would be really cool. The other thing is there is no Dracon, so there's no lieutenants, if you like, in the Drukhari. And I thought it would be really cool to if they had a Dracon and maybe give them some sort of reroll ones to wound, something like that. Me and Dan were talking about it, and it seems sort of like, because they haven't got it, other than having a relic, they haven't got any ability to reroll ones to wound, and most other factions like Necrons have Lords, Space Marines have Lieutenants. They've got some way of re-rolling ones to wound. But yeah, it was just an interesting thing. It doesn't have to be that. Maybe they should change it and make it something different. Because not all armies should have the same rules anyway. I'm a big believer in that. Because that's what makes each different army interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've got for you on the Drukhari. If you don't know about the Drukhari, they're basically all about torturing and stabbing each other in the back, and it's just devious, but a lot of fun. The lore was to read into. It was like really interesting, learning about how Vect used the salamanders basically to gain power, knocked a lot of these old Archons out, and burnt their sort of cabals out, and he took over. And yeah, it was really interesting. So it's well worth a read. Even if you just go and read the lore in each of the codexes, you can learn so much about each army, and it sort of really brings you up to date where they are at the moment in 8th edition. So yeah, let me know if there's any big characters that I've missed, because I'm sure there are in the lore, in books. I'm not a lore master. I haven't read everything. I've just sort of tried to scour the internet and look at the codexes and see what I could find from them. So if there's anyone that you think could be a shoe-in for a potential new character for Drukhari, comment below. Next, I am going to do the Harlequins and the Inari. I'm going to do them together because between the two of them there isn't loads. So yeah, I'll do Inari and Harlequins together. And also there's a bit of crossover and stuff, so it'll be cool. So that will be my next video. And then I might carry on with the Xenos races. And we'll carry on talking about them, because I think the Imperium and specifically Space Marines get talked about a lot in terms of characters and stuff. So because obviously there's a lot of books and lore about them. So yeah, we'll carry on with the Xenos. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe for more of these videos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.